Welcome, welcome. It is my pleasure to have another interview here with our platinum level sponsors, the Military Ministry of Cru. I am Kristin Goodrich, also known as KG, and at Planting Roots, I serve as the XO or Deputy Director. And I've just had a wonderful time getting to work with these two women in military ministry. Their heart beats for women in the military community. They're gonna share a little bit more about the ministry of Cru, and so we're just excited to hear more about what the ministry is doing at large, and then what their specific roles are, and then we'll get into some Q&A. So Martha, tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your role in the organization of the Military Ministry of Cru.
Well, thanks, Kristin. I'm excited to be here today. I serve with my husband as the global director. We minister to those who wear their nation's uniform. So basically, anyone who is not wearing a U.S. uniform, whether they're in the military, Coast Guard, immigration, fire, police, that's who we minister to. And we're excited to be able to do that.
Great. And Carleene, tell us a little bit about your ministry role.
Thank you, KG. I serve with my husband as the National Director of Cru Military, or the Military Ministry of Cru. In the U.S., we call it Cru Military. We are oversee all of the U.S. Ministry within Cru Military. So we have regions where we have staff members working with our U.S. military and helping them hear the gospel, learn the gospel, and bring the gospel to the military community.
So exciting. Now, both of you have a heartbeat for service, U.S. military service. I'll go back to you, Carleene. Just tell us a little bit more about your military family connection, and then I'll pass it off to Martha.
Yes. I'm married to my husband, who's now an Army retiree. He served for about 28 years, and just about when he was ready to retire, our son came on board and was commissioned in 2001. So I'm a military mom and a military wife.
And your son is Army, is that right, as
Yep.
well? So you have a strong Army connection.
Very strong Army connection. Steve's dad was also Army. And we just flew into JBLM to see these grandkids that we have not seen in 18 months or so because of COVID. So we are really excited.
Super exciting. Now, Martha, your connection is a little bit more Air Force focused.
Absolutely. That's why I'm wearing my Air Force blue today. So yeah, absolutely. My husband and I met at the Air Force Academy. We're actually classmates. So we served in the Air Force about 21 years and retired. My dad was also in the Air Force. So I'm a military brat. I am a retired military Air Force. I'm a military spouse. And our son decided that he did not want to follow our path, went to the Naval Academy, and is a Marine. So that's
I will take it from there because I am a Naval Academy graduate as well. So I'm a Navy veteran, but I am married to Air Force. My husband, Terry's now Air Force retired. His family is full of many of the branches of the military, his grandfathers and father, etc. For me, I'm third generation Navy, and my exciting thing is our son, our youngest, just is at Marine Corps boot camp and just earned his Eagle Globe and Anchor yesterday at boot camp. So he's officially now a Marine, and that's exciting. So with that, let's continue on this discussion. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about how the ministries or the mindset of Planting Roots and Cru Military intersect. Can you share some of that with us, Martha?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, we love Planting Roots, and not even involved with Military Ministry of Cru. We love your heart, and we love what you're saying and doing. But basically, women are the same. As far as a global representative, as I'm sharing, women have the same needs. And their basic need really is Jesus. And so that's what we want to be able to do, is to reach out, whether that woman is wearing a uniform or married to someone who's wearing a uniform. And it's the same objective. That's why we run into you guys all the time, because we're in the same space and we love working together with you.
Excellent. Awesome. Carleene?
Yes. Our women associated with the military can be missional in bringing the gospel worldwide and planting roots. We have talked about that often, about being missional. We want to encourage them in their faith, teach them the word so that they can then teach others, and then send them to wherever the military sends them to be military missionaries or missional in wherever they live. Planting Roots Ministry has a very similar vision, and we're excited to be working together and partnering with Planting Roots.
Right. I find that one of the most exciting things is this collaboration that we are experiencing with multiple different ministries, where we have a very narrow focus for the uniformed woman and the women in the military community, whether they are wives or moms or daughters, whatever. There's such a great overlap of resources. And so I'm so grateful for that. And you as the audience, you'll want to check out some of these resources that the Military Ministry of Cru offers. With that in mind, Martha, there are a few things in ways that we differ. And so I'd like to, for our audience, if you would share with us who and what what resources might be of interest to the folks listening just now.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for saying that. Even though we are serving the same Lord, absolutely. My role specifically as the global director is to be able to encourage those who don't wear the U.S. uniform. And that is a way that we differ. Even though we have planting root conferences, just because of the time zones, for some of our countries, they are not able to join in. And I deal with multiple languages. But those aren't really challenges. It's just the reality of things are different. And so we still work together the best way we can in order to do that. So I would say that's for me in my role. It's just a global difference, language, everything else.
For certain. I appreciate that. And Carleene, you have a little bit of a different angle about ways that we differ. Tell us some of the exciting things that are going on in your realm.
So we at Cru Military are able to meet our servicemen and women at the door of basic training. We've been invited by our chaplains to conduct Sunday school, and we have done that in every service, except maybe the Coast Guard and our new guardians of the space world. So the Lord will open those doors eventually. We minister to both men and women who wear the uniform in their workplace and in chapels on posts and bases worldwide, and also our military spouses. And so that's a way that we differ, but we have much in common with Planting Roots.
Which is so exciting. So one of the, for instance, is that Planting Roots has created a resource called Bible Boot Camp for Military Women. Now we can produce that in conjunction with the Armed Services Ministry of the American Bible Society. But that resource, a 45-day devotional written to military women, those in uniform currently, is a tool that you've been able to share with the entry points of the boot camp experience of every military member who has to go through training. And so to have that resource with the people that you have with Cru and the resource that PR Planting Roots has offered in conjunction with ABS, it's just this great connection of working with one another for God's glory. And I just think that's amazing. Speaking of God's glory, our theme for Planting Roots this year is taken from the Old Testament book of Nehemiah, chapter 2, verse 18. And the focus of our whole ministry this year has been the notion and the principle of rise up. It's such an inviting and challenging and just an encouraging phrase. How has, tell me a little bit about an experience of rising up, Martha. How can, that our audience that would enjoy hearing about?
Absolutely. I mean, I could tell you a lot of different stories, but what really came into my heart was the time where we had just some aggression, Russian aggression on the border of Ukraine. And at that particular moment, the Ukrainian military force wasn't really prepared for any type of a skirmish or any type of training. There was no mobility, no training, no logistical support. And the national team leader of that country just cried out for help. How can I help these men and women who are now defending this nation? We had to rise up, and it was to help them rebuild what had been destroyed in their nation. So just by providing them support, understanding of who they are, their identity, the importance of integrity on the battlefield, being able to help their leaders and being able to provide support for their families while someone else deployed. And so we have the similar resources for our US forces, but we were able to translate that material into Ukrainian and Russian to help the families. And that really is all what it's about. When we have been given the call because there is a need and the Lord has opened the door for us to fill it. So that, I mean, rising up, that's what makes me excited about being a missionary and serving the global military community. We have some additional resources for women as well. And you can check that out on our link with our landing page. But we have like a significant woman resource, which not only helps just discipleship training, but to identify who are you and to allow you as women to rise up and to fulfill the potential, the God-given potential that has been given to you.
Absolutely. That's so encouraging. And again, to recognize that, again, God's truths are universal, but that nonetheless, they are come into practice in different ways through different cultures, as you would have just described. Carleene, tell us a little bit about a rise up situation or scenario.
Well, for the past few years, we have been focused on specifically raising up the next generation of younger leaders to be part of our ministry. We are recruiting and training future missionaries to present the gospel, be discipled and disciples others to be sent and fulfill the Great Commission. But we have been very specific about recruiting younger people that have a passion for the gospel. And we're really excited about that. We've just really put in a more robust training program to really affirm and encourage and train these young men and women who want to join us. And so God has really been opening doors for us. We've been very prayerful about recruiting, and we have really, I would say, Martha, don't you think we have really showcased and focused on prayer? Prayer in every aspect of our ministry, prayer has become the centerpiece. And that, I think COVID was one of those things that brought that about, because we couldn't meet in person and do a lot of things. We had to be still. And we started meeting on Zoom in our different regions and really talking about what does it mean to raise up the next generation. And so we're excited. We're looking for people who are, you know, there's a whole life after the military. So whether you're a volunteer, you can be a volunteer when you're active duty, you can come on as a full-time missionary. We train both our volunteers and our full-time missionaries. And it's exciting because God has been blessing it. So thanks for asking.
You bet. I know. I think it's such an exciting mindset because, again, our military by design is full of younger people learning wonderful skills on the military side of things, to partner that with their deepening spiritual walk and growth is an exciting opportunity that just joins up in the Military Ministry of Cru. And just as a point of clarification, the mission for your organization is to win, build, and send Christ-centered, multiplying disciples who are connecting the lost to Jesus Christ. I mean, that's it in the nutshell, and such an exciting thing. I also want, for those of you who are listening or might be interested in finding out some more about the Military Ministry of Cru, they have been wonderful in their platinum sponsorship of this Planting Roots event to have created a specific landing page. Martha alluded to it a little bit ago, and you can find that at crumilitary.org/plantingroots. And so there's an actual specific resource landing page designed with you in mind to connect those here in our Planting Roots audience who have an interest in the Cru military ministry in the U.S. or beyond, as it were, depending on your interest. So we're excited that we continue to work together to collaborate. I thank you, each one of you. Both of you ladies are dear friends, and I'm so glad to be able to partner and ministry with you and to share enthusiasm and just the idea that we really want our U.S. military to be, and its entire community to be on fire for Jesus. So we thank you for this time. And folks, we just, again, encourage you to check out the website, the landing page of crumilitary.org. It's just one word, crumilitary.org/plantingroots. Thank you so much, friends. And we look forward to the next time we get to work together. God bless you guys. All right. Bye-bye.